Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Destur ya Seyyidi medet la havle la kuvvete illa billahil azim. Harikatun esrafa hayrun fi cemiya. Medet ya sultanul evliya, medet ya sultanul enbiya ya Ricalallah.
Yourself be caught by your ego and turned into a slave.
Von deinem Ego fangen und Sklaven machen.
You need to know if you let yourself get caught from your own ego and from your own animal, then the animal, your ego is going to turn you into its slave. But it's not into their servant. The position of a servant is a high position, high-ranking position, and is supposed to get into the divine presence, he says. The position of a servant belongs to the divine presence. Anything else, kinds of servitudes or servanthoods, that you say that they are yours on this earth, are actually only forms of slavery, but not servitude. The human is always a slave to another, but it's not their servant. Only in the name of God, if you start giving a certain kind of service, that is part of servitude, and immediately, automatically, it transports you into the divine presence. And we are listening as well. What we didn't know, and we never even thought about it, what we never even asked ourselves. And then how it's being revealed to us. Oh Allah, give us wisdom any other time, every other moment, every moment. The level of a servant. Being a servant, he says. If you are a servant, you are his representative. If you are a servant, you are the Lord. It means. And then, so who is the servant and who is the Lord? That will never be the question anymore. The secret is being revealed. He is the servant and the representative. The position of a representative means as if position. As if position means as if that servant is the Lord. Servant and the representatives of the Lord, which means servant to the Lord is automatically the representative, the Lord being representative. Such a high position. Only in this world you fulfilled a service for the Lord, for Allah, with that intention, then that service belongs to the servitude towards the Lord and God. But if you go into a factory or work in a business company, my brother, even if you say, I'm one of the engineers, and go to the position as it might sound better as someone who's more than a slave, maybe the leading slave, you can call it, the one who is the ombudsman of workers, the one who is driving on all the slaves behind him, but still. But everything that you do for your ego, and if that means you go to work because of your provision, and for enjoyment that you can actually buy more from this world, it means that's part of slavery to your own ego, because it's not for Allah. And that is clear as soup. If you go to work, it's not to earn your bread and for your family, but only for that purpose. But also that you want to buy that sofa, that car, that house, that you can afford that you don't actually really are in need of, but it's a means of showing wealth and that you are feeling well, and that it's a form of luxury. It's not within the realms of servitude, but it's all to the slavery of your ego. Everything belongs to the compartment of egos. You buy that house for your ego. You buy that car for your ego. It has got nothing to do with Allah. Isn't it true? And we hear that for the first time, that very fine line. We are in this world to learn more and more and gain more knowledge and get more and more, and to gain more and more consciousness over the things, over everything and all pictures. Why and how and when, we have to make sure what that means for everything, about everything around us. Don't be turned into a slave to your own ego, it said. How can you do that? How can you manage that? By turning your ego into your own slave. There's no other way around it. So how to do that? For you, and voluntarily for your own, feel like as if you are a slave. As if you are a slave. And you call yourself independently as that. Don't call your ego as your slave and say, if you are in unity still, and then I'm gonna make myself into a slave myself with my own free will, and as that's got some honor to it, if there is somebody else who catches you and turns you into their slave, that's got no honor to it, because it's without your free will it happened. They took away your free will. They didn't put into chains your free will, and then you turned into a slave. Those who are a slave has got no free will anymore. Everything, all protest, all rebellion, all uprise, all opposition, everything is done and out. It's not there anymore. You always have to bow down. You always have to obey. And you feel at some time it doesn't hurt anymore, right? Just like a mode, like an automatic mode, as a robot, you do what it's been told, and your mind is not a break to your enemy, against, and all kinds of rebellion. But no, you don't need to use your mind anymore, because they give you an order and you do what it's been told, as you are a slave. It's a very important topic that we are talking about the last days, as they make us talk about that topic. because we are not here in this house for fun and games. We're here to learn and to turn ourselves into something, not to just stay here and be bored out of our minds, but it's meant that we turn into something, that we get a good degree, that we shall make something out of us, something special. An ego that has been enslaved won't be heard, because in Sufism, what's the foundation of Sufism? Don't let yourself be heard, and don't hurt others, and don't get hurt yourself. So how do you do that? As a slave, as someone with a free will. You can't miss that. It cannot be avoided. So how can you insult me? How can you do that to me? How? It's all from the place of a free will. How you can even claim yourself. Whoever can claim can be heard. Those who claim can also hurt others. And that is why, at first, on your free will, let yourself be chained. Which means, turn your own ego into chains. Put them into chains. If we say put them into your own chains, means because your ego is controlling you, is ruling over you. And that's why we say you. Let yourself, we say, but it means actually your ego, not you yourself. Do you understand the difference in that? I'll try, they say.
Kommst du mit, Yunus? Was hast du verstanden?
It means you yourself cannot do it. You have to let it happen that someone for you is putting your ego into chains. That's the only way possible. So you need someone who is controlling you, a trainer, that already has whip in the hand and it's standing right in front of you and tells you, sit down, get up. And you allow them to do so. That's what is meant, that because you, out of your own free will, allows them to do so, and with your permission, everything that's happening, that your ego becomes your slave, but not by the trainer in front of you. The trainer turns your ego into his slave. No, the trainer turns your ego into your slave, but you don't have that level of understanding yet. The trainer is actually your servant. He is doing it for you, because you cannot handle your own ego. You've got no influence over your own ego, and your ego doesn't even respect you, and you will never be a person of respect to your own ego. But the trainer is a person of respect for your ego, because he can catch him for you, only if you allow him to. So let yourself be turned into a slave on your own free will, which means for you, involuntarily, and feel as well as a slave. That's what is meant. It means that you give permission to a true trainer, a true person of respect, that they shall have control over your ego, and that they take control of it. But you have to allow that 100%, not only 99%, not only 89%, not 90%, not 80%, not 70%, not 50%. Oh, Sheikh, only until here. this is my limit, and until this limit you are allowed to do whatever you want, but no, further no. That's only half a thing. And don't do it half-heartedly. And that's what it means to become a student in the Tariqa, in the school of Sufism. It's so hard. That's why our Grand Sheikh Maulana Sheikh Nazim said, they told him, you've got millions and millions of students. If I had 40 of them, I would have entered this world. It means there are many million students that kiss his hand and accept him, but there are not even 40 among them that actually can allow him 100% truly that he can rule over their egos. That he's actually conducting everything and has control of it. That's why. So we've got a problem now. And that only if you can become saints. It's not an easy task. Can you turn a stone from the wall into a stone on the ring? No. You can turn a human into a saint, yes. Only if he lets it happen. Every human's got the potential to let themselves from a donkey man into a precious man. Isn't it beautifully said?
Hört sich niedlich an, ne? Deine Frau wird dich mehr lieben jetzt.
So a donkey man turns into a precious man, a gentleman. So you're not down.
Du bist ab und ab rauf. Immer höher rauf. Immer rauf. Immer raufer. Wenn du dein Ego
If you proclaimed your own ego to be a slave, you will see you won't get hurt, and you will never hurt others. A slave can never hurt somebody else, as he's got no right to do so, and won't be hurt. As he didn't have got any right to get hurt, because he doesn't get the right to get hurt, and he don't give him the right to hurt others, because he didn't have any rights to begin with. They have to follow wherever they want him to be and to go, just like that, and to walk and be like that.
Was hast du verstanden jetzt? Ich muss raufhauen.
That is the way, the path, my people. I don't know until now if a saint, a sheikh, ever gave you such a secret piece of advice in the history of Sufism, ever gave you like that, or gave anybody like that. We are living in the end of times. And he told me, the master, the closer the coming of Mehdi alayhi salam is, some students will be revealed more and more secrets, so that they shall be able to give others as well. And once Mehdi alayhi salam has come, all hearts and all secrets are being revealed. But until then, some students are being opened now already, are being revealed, like the size of an atom. But that's enough for us, once we understood. That's such kind of a revelation that is. I don't know if anybody before this time ever gave such a piece of advice. So what are you doing out of it? That's the problem, that's the question. These are pearls, yes. So what are you? Are you gentlemen that have an understanding of pearls? A VP, a very Islamic person. Or are you a hippie?
What you want, as you wish.
All of you can turn into a VPs. All of you can be hippies as well. It's up on you. Those are pearls. And all that's being said is such a huge pearl. And no jeweler can ever guess the carat of and understand that carat of that pearl. The value of it. It sounds terrible and cruel even, and brutal and immense. But better immense than brutal, right? It's all up to you, how you want to take it, brutally or immensely. This piece of advice. What is it about? Don't get hurt and don't hurt others. That is the path. That's how you get to the goal, to the destination. But somebody who claims it will hard be for them, but someone who's got no claims at all, it's easy as a pie. A slave, you can spit at them and insult them, make them suffer and hurt them, and they won't say anything against that, and they won't rebel, they won't defend themselves. He hasn't got the right to do so. He has no rights. So take that right to strip away all the rights of your own ego, voluntarily. If you do that voluntarily, later you will get the level of servant, and then the representatives, and that is the reward for it. That's the reward. Our Sheikh let himself being punched and starved, and he was in prison, and he got 100 years in prison because he was reading the Arabic Izan during the time of Atatürk. For 100 years, because he read the Arabic Izan call for prayer, he got imprisoned, sentenced to prison. He took it all. So, but what happened to him? Kings and sultans were bowing their heads to him. He turned his own ego into a slave, and that made him a king above kings. And then he stood up, and he said, "Stand up. If I stand up, all kings have to stand up as well." This is not a claim. And he proved it, and kings and princes came to him and kissed his hand. The Pope came to his feet. The Pope, from above, he got the order from the heavens. He has to visit me here. And everybody was laughing. Sheikh, he's 90 years old. He's still got some great humor in it. He's making a joke. Hey, where is my tailor? He's gonna have to make me a nice robe in honor of the Pope who's gonna come. That I look nice, he said. Everybody thought it was a joke. The Pope himself visiting the Sheikh. He isn't even an official person himself. To a small village, visit him. Even though he cannot visit him directly to Cyprus because it's Protestant, and he is Catholic, and he's not allowed, he's Orthodox, whatever. It's not Catholic grounds, but against the protocols of the Vatican, he isn't allowed to come. And that is why, if you look at from all different kinds of aspects, it's not possible It has to be a joke. But and the next day he continued to do so. He has to come. If he doesn't come, he'll be punished for that. He got the order from above. And I believe we were doing Hajj or Umrah pilgrimage, and we were on our way back, and we hear that this Pope was in Cyprus, and they met, and we were witness. So it did happen. This is what happened to him, because he let it happen that his Sheikh turned his ego into a slave. Because his ego turned into a slave, he was announced to be a servant and was then turned later announced to be king as a representative. And I'm witness myself, wherever I went, they welcomed me as if he is everywhere in the hearts, and is even stronger now. This is what happened to him. Do you want to turn yourself into something like that? Let yourself be turned into that? That is the condition to it all. That to success. Because you cannot be hurt. And you can only not be hurt if you are a slave. Voluntarily. Then anybody can spit at you and you're just laughing it off. And you're not allowed to cry, but you're not allowed to laugh. Haha. You can. So you're not allowed to laugh, and you're allowed to laugh but not cry. Enjoy it. Sure. Just enjoy it. Try to enjoy it. Somehow you can enjoy it, right? Even bitter chocolate, you can enjoy it. They brought me onion chocolate, fiba, and it got worse. Garlic chocolate, pepper chocolate, and so on and so on. What all kinds of chocolates they had. But there are some who enjoy it. And it's even very expensive to get those. More expensive than any usual bar of chocolate. And this is our piece of advice. We are a private school here. A very, very special school. It's a school for those with special needs. Special, because only such a school, only very special students can graduate from. Antique people that are being looked at weirdly from outside, but inside they are all pearls and diamonds. How does a gem like that in original state look like? Oh, just like sand or stone, without being wiped down, and you don't even know if it is a diamond or not. Only very special people can see that. If that is gold or not, it has to be washed already, thoroughly. May Allah give us good understanding. This is a secret piece of advice behind the secrets of God, from the treasure box. And either it sounds brutally or immensely. It depends how, depending on your point of view.
Nebina Muhammed aleyhisselam salaten tedumu ve tühda ileyh memerre leyali ve tulet devam Allahümme salli ve sellim ala nebina Muhammed aleyhisselam salaten tedumu ve tühda ileyh memerre leyali ve tulet devam Allahümme salli ve sellim ala nebina Muhammed aleyhisselam salaten tedumu ve tühda ileyh memmerre leyali ve tulet devam Allahümme salli ve sellim ala nebina Muhammed aleyhisselam salaten tedumu ve tühda ileyh memerre leyali ve tulet devam Allahu 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 Allah Allahu 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 Allah Allahu 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 Allah Allahu 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 Allah Muhammeden Resulullah Fatiha. Selam Allah.